Good morning. So this reading is for Tuesday, June 24th. And what I'm doing here is just pulling a little bit about our past, our present, and our future. So let's get 3 cards on our past. Current energy. And future. So looking at the bottom of the deck here, I am getting the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is a very painful card, probably the most painful in tarot, but this indicates it's over, it's done. So whatever happened here in the past that led to, I'm getting a lot of emotional heartbreak, could even have been some sort of physical pain connected to the emotional pain. The Ten of Swords, it just feels like it was your entire person, like your entire body felt it emotionally, mentally, physically, all of it. But it's done. It's a closed cycle. So it's about releasing. That feels like it's going to be the theme of the reading here, release. So when I look at the past energy here and I'm getting the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups is, I'm just getting, get in touch with your feelings. You might be talking about your feelings, or you started in the past here with that Page of Cups. Could have started with maybe even an apology. Maybe you were sending one or receiving one in some capacity, because the Page of Cups is actually looking at the Ten of Swords here in the way that I see the cards on the table. So there was something here in the past, and it feels a lot like needing to let go of something here in the past, even if it wasn't an apology directly from the other person. It just, something happened here in the past with your emotions where you said, okay, I cannot carry this around anymore. I need to focus on something more positive. And that's exactly what the Hanged Man is doing here in the past energy. Hanged Man is pause or delay, but it's so that you can see things from a different point of view. So when it came to this painful ending, the heartbreak, and just all of the pain that I'm picking up here in this Ten of Swords, the Hanged Man was saying, okay, let's show you big picture. Let's show you what actually occurred, in case some of that was missing, because it can be, some of it can be a misunderstanding or misinterpretation, but also what you need to do in order to be able to move on from it, because the moving on energy is really important. And what I'm also getting here in the past energy is the Nine of Pentacles. So at some point here in the past, you did overcome that Ten of Swords. You didn't just overcome it, though. You came back stronger and more confident with this Nine of Pentacles energy. This is a card of independence, creating your own abundance. And when you were faced with this challenging situation, regardless of what led up to the Hanged Man, you finally said, I've had enough. This is it. I need to be able to move forward. And it's almost as though you had to create some sort of closure within yourself, maybe forgiving yourself for whatever happened here, because the apology could actually be with yourself. Regardless, you gained your confidence back. Seems to be moving in the better direction here. In the current energy, I'm getting the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is a new beginning here, along with the Queen of Wands taking some sort of action, and then the King of Pentacles. So a lot of stability, a lot of grounded energy. So Ten of Swords feels like it's a done cycle. You're working to put it behind you. You've done a lot to kind of restore your confidence. And now with that energy, you're moving forward. There's 2 people in this reading. The Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles are not the same person. And so it could be that you're aligning with somebody that is meant to be on your path, one who is very grounded and very stable, a nurturing energy with that King of Pentacles. And then you've got the Queen of Wands, who's very passionate, driven, motivated. Together, you're moving forward. The Ace of Wands does indicate some sort of motivated, inspired new chapter. And so when I look at the future energy and get the Temperance, Sagittarius energy, this is emotional balance. 7 of Wands, so standing up for yourself, fighting for what you want. And it's the 6 of Swords. So the 6 of Swords here in this future energy tells me that you do move on, completely move on from that pain in the past. It feels like you've been doing a lot of work to kind of rebuild yourself along the way. And when I look at that future energy and see the 6 of Swords, it's kind of, okay, it's done, it's over. Let's just move on with our life. So let's get some additional details here. Tell me about the Page of Cups. Hanged Man. Nine of Pentacles. So in the past here, that Page of Cups, whether it was an internal conversation, an external conversation, when you started really paying attention to your emotions here and working to resolve whatever that Ten of Swords was, it created an environment for you to take some sort of action here with the Knight of Wands. It allowed for you to really start moving on from this energy. So all of that moving on energy showing up in the future actually originated here in the past. Clarifying, the Hanged Man here is the Ten of Swords. So it's out here twice, and you were really given an opportunity to see it from a different perspective, understand the impact that it had, just that big picture, entire impact that it had, so that you could figure out what you need to do in order to be able to release it, really move on from this. And then clarifying the Nine of Pentacles here, I'm getting the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is a card of happiness, and it feels like you've been working really hard to restore balance within yourself, build back your confidence, rebuild your life, and just everything around you in a happier, healthier way with that Three of Cups energy. Tell me about the Ace of Wands. Queen of Wands. So clarifying the Ace of Wands, I'm getting the Nine of Swords. So we go from the 10 to the 9. So the effect of this is diminishing. It's going to diminish over time until you're just completely ready to release it here in the future. With the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Swords, it feels like you hit a point in your life where you said, you know what, I can sit here and I can keep still or just not prioritize what really matters, not follow my passions, just kind of stay still and sit in that old energy. Or I can sit there and say, I'm going to take some sort of action, but it's the fear of this Nine of Swords. It's any kind of stress, fear, anxiety that may have held you back in the past. This is something that you're no longer going to let that happen. You're not in a mental space of letting that consume you. That Ten of Swords did consume you for a while. You may have felt it really difficult to move forward until you did some real healing work connected to it. And so you hit this point here. Once you hit that Nine of Pentacles in the past, you said, you know what, nothing is going to stop me. I know that I still have some fears. There's still some stress, anxiety, but I'm moving on. I'm not going to let that hold me back. And then we have another ace showing up here. So we have the Ace of Cups with the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, very passionate, very action-oriented. Let's move things forward. Ace of Cups, following your heart. And so a lot of what you're doing now is paying attention to your emotions, because this is something where, from that Hanged Man perspective, when you understand that full impact that it had on you, you recognize that the first thing that you needed to do was rebuild your confidence, but that was connected to your happiness. And so that doesn't feel like something that you're going to sacrifice again. It feels like something that you're going to hold on to and really kind of work with on a regular basis. It's not about just listening to your mind. It's about listening to your heart and what makes sense for you. Clarifying the King of Pentacles, I'm getting the Hermit. So all earth energy showing up here. The Hermit energy, so that's Virgo. A lot of thinking, a lot of planning, maybe even overthinking at times with that Virgo energy, but it's also healing. And so there could be something here where another person maybe even shows you what you need to do in order to really move on from that Ten of Swords. Whomever this other person is on your spiritual path, the walk together with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups feels like it's doing something for you in the respect of helping you to let go of the past, really heal from whatever this was. You were able to do it on your own until a certain point, and then enter this other person and you're able to make a lot more progress. So let's get the Temperance. And the Six of Swords. So with the Temperance energy, I'm getting the Page of Wands. So Temperance, Sagittarius energy, emotional balance, all things in moderation. Page of Wands indicates you're acting from a place here in the future of feeling really balanced. It's because of all the work that you've been doing, and even just the help of this other person. There's something about that King of Pentacles energy that's just very grounding and stable. So that may be you, or it may be the Queen of Wands. However, whichever one you identify with, it just feels like the connection here is helping to stabilize you so that you're able to move forward. It's kind of almost reinforcing all of the work that you've done and showing you that all of the pain in the past is really done. It's not coming back around. That's a closed cycle. With the Seven of Wands, I'm getting the Emperor energy. And so I love that. The Emperor is very determined. It's Aries energy. It's Mars, god of war. And so when I see that with the Seven of Wands, you're really fighting for what you know to be in your best interest. It's not about listening to other people. It's not about the past trying to drag you back. Once you make up your mind and you start moving in that direction, nothing is going to stop you. In fact, that's what the universe has been waiting for. So clarifying that Six of Swords, I have the Tower showing up. So the Tower is sudden change, sudden movement, a realization, but really it's the destruction of something that was not solid, not meant to be on your path, not meant to hold you back. So any kind of block and barrier, anything without that stable foundation, what it was doing here was really helping you to completely move on from that Ten of Swords energy. So if you were wondering here if that was ever going to happen, it will. The universe is going to help along the way. But what it's looking for is the sign from you to say, okay, I'm not going back into that space. I'm not falling back into that negative energy. I'm just going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to work through it. And the universe said, okay, then let's do it. Let's remove this from your path altogether so that you really can move forward. You really can just enjoy the life that you're living and do so with a lot of confidence, following your heart. So this is the reading for Tuesday. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.